What's up, guys, and welcome back to the JP and Trav Show on the JP and Trav YouTube channel. As always, it's your host with the most, JP. Unfortunately, today, as you can see, I am cameraless. Have some technical difficulties. That's the reason that we were so late tonight, so I apologize. But no camera today, just me on the mic. But with that being said, to my right, I have my co-host, brother, and friend, Travis J. Davis. And Travis, how you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. Everybody got got to see South Carolina
Yeah.
just run roughshod over us. Game was over after 5 minutes. I thought defense actually played well the rest of the way, and offense played decent the rest of the way. Nothing earth shattering, but game was over halfway through the first quarter, and that's okay because we. We have made the sacrifice to the football gods, and Seth Littrell is gone. So
Indeed.
we are on to who? On to who? So, anyways, Littrell gone. He was golfing today here in Tulsa, from what I'm told. So he's taking it fine. But I want to know who you want to see, what you were doing when you found out that Littrell got fired. I know Kirby immediately thought of us.
Yep.
Yes, he's living his best life. So I am going to pour myself a horns down apple pie. Again, 10% of all revenue does go to OU baseball NIL. They got 2 commitments over the last couple days.
Indeed.
So I'm going to pour a little. Ooh, right on the microphone. There you go. So tell me where you were, what your thoughts were, and then if anybody can get a word in out in between Kirby, we will get some OC hot board going on.
Yeah. And obviously, chat. Make sure you guys go ahead and put in there. Hey, here's what here's where we were. Here's who's who we want, because obviously we put that out there on the Twitter page today. Just what are your guys' thoughts on who you should go for next? But I was at a wedding. One of my friends, one of Kirsten and I's friends from high school, got married in Charlotte. And so I was actually in the Carolinas on Saturday when we got that drubbing. Unfortunately, I was out in the morning, flying my OU stuff. Everything was cool, and then just bang, it was rough. So, anyways, I was at a wedding, and my mom calls me, and I'm like, okay, it's not normal for her to call me, so I answer real quick, and she's like, Jalen, did you hear Littrell got fired? And so, just so you know where this stands with me and my mom. My mom was a graduate of the University of Oklahoma, class of '87. Okay, so like she's very connected to university. She's got fellow alum friends that she knows. And so it's not like she doesn't know stuff or isn't connected. She is at this point though. She's less connected or slower than I am. Just with the connections I have, whether that's obviously Trav or some other people that I know and have gotten into contact with through this account on Twitter, and just even my sister being at the university and graduating last year. I normally am more in the know than my mother, especially because she normally will tell me something. Oh, I saw this on Facebook and I knew it 2 weeks ago, right? So that's normally how those conversations go. I hadn't heard anything. Like, Trad didn't text me. I ain't getting nothing from. I hadn't seen nothing from nobody, or to my knowledge, because I wasn't really checking my phone. I was at a wedding, mind you. So I'm listening to these speeches at this reception, get this call, and I'm like, ain't no way. Like, I'm not saying it wasn't gonna happen, but I'm like, ain't no way it's happened already. Like, it's gonna happen Monday morning. Like, no, it's not happened already. And I go to my phone and I look, and I'm like, oh, whoa, he did get fired. Like, it changed my whole perspective, on everything. I was checking Twitter, seeing what everybody was saying, and here we are. But yeah, that's where I was, Trav. Where were you?
Man, I was just chilling at the house. Saw it come across various, rumors, text messages. One of my good friends, he was like, yeah, one of my buddy's girlfriends is like Seth's niece or something like that, and found out that he got like just the typical like, all right, whatever, like everybody's just mad and they're making up all these, oh my, the guy who I bought a bed from off Marketplace, he hopped in my DMs and said that he saw Littrell walking out of the facility with his head down, and like just random stuff, and ended up being true. So out is Littrell, and we're on to Jon Finley, the pass game coordinator 2020 under Jeffrey Lebby. And I mean, he's a dead man walking, isn't he? Isn't Jon a dead man walking? I mean, it would have to be. It would have to be. I don't know what he would have to do to save his job, at least as an offensive coordinator. Everybody's got their eye. Like it would look like it would be the laziest hire you could make, quite literally. But like, I don't know. I don't know what would have to happen for Jon to keep his job, like into 2025.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, the tight end position has been the worst unit on the team really since he's been here. I mean, the first year, the reason it was even good, okay to good, was because of one Braden Willis, and that's just because of who Braden Willis is. Last year was one of the worst on the team, even with Stog back, right? And you got no production out of that. And a lot of people want to depend that on Dylan Gabriel and him not looking in the middle field, what have you. But even blocking, Stog got murdered last year in blocking.
Yeah, he did.
And it was a constant problem, and that has managed to come over this year with Jake Roberts and Bauer Sharp. And I know Bauer Sharp's not played tight end at this level before, but Jake Roberts has, and they're both not doing well. And then obviously you think, oh, Jon's giving himself 2-3 more years, right? Because of getting Devon Mitchell in the boat. But then the tight ends are the worst on the team, on the worst offense in the Power 4. So
I mean, yeah, it's. I will say this is I brought this up on radio today, and I'm curious about it. If somebody's room sucks, does that mean they're going to be bad OC? Or if somebody's room's great, does that mean they'll be a good OC? Like, do those two things?
I don't know that they are correlated, because calling plays is maybe different. Like, could you be better at calling plays than you could be at coaching, like physicality? Potentially. I mean, there's a shot, but I don't think. Obviously, this is not going to be I don't think this is an audition for anything other than just like finish out the season and you might be gone. Like,
it's an audition in a sense that, I'll put it this way: if they posted auditions for, I don't know, like a singing role in a local play, I could go audition. And the fact that I did an audition, I just stand no chance of getting the part. You know what I mean? But I'm able to go audition. Jon is auditioning. I don't think he has any chance of getting the part. The question is, does he do enough in order to elevate what his next job might be? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, does Oklahoma State hire him as offensive coordinator if they let Casey Dunn go? Or do they, does he do enough in the 5 games to get a lesser OC job somewhere else? He might do that, but he's not going to do enough, even if they score 40 a game. You can't you can't optically go to him because you'll have people with their pitchforks at the front gates of the Switzer Center. Rightfully so.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, Trev. I mean, I just think that it's just a mess, dog. Like it is. Like from top to bottom. And we'll listen. We're going to get into. Trust me. I mean, the next, 2-3 months, there's going to be plenty of who's going to be Oklahoma's next offensive coordinator. Playing talks. I mean, look, you heard it here first. Travis might even bring back OU rumors and news. Patented.
Man, wait, that's what it was. It was Sunday. Man, I don't know why I thought it was. Yeah, I was going over to have family dinner and game night. That's what it was. When I found out, because we got over there about 7.
Yeah.
And Twitter was going nuts. Kirby logged into the StreamYard show for tonight on Sunday. He's just been waiting in the comment room.
Kirby, you're a freak.
Just been waiting in the chat room.
Get off. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, let's go ahead.
Well, here's the thing that cracks me up. It's got to be somebody, right? Yeah. It was Seth getting all the hate last week. Seth gets fired. The hate doesn't turn down. It just moves.
Yeah.
It just goes down the line. Now it's Bill. Eric was trying to fire DeMarco. Like, it's just, it goes down the line. Kirby's got to get those jokes off. So
he has to. Listen, guys, like let's go ahead and get into it, Trav. It's no secret that Travis and I have been big Bill Bedenbaugh supporters over the years. Okay. And I'll be the first to say, I'll come out and say it. Obviously, the offensive line is one of the worst units in the country, if not the worst in the SEC.
It's the worst line that Bill has ever had.
It's the worst line that he's ever had. So, like at a certain rate, when you coach at the level that he's coaching at, like at the University of Oklahoma, yes, it's unacceptable. Yes, he realizes it's unacceptable. I also refuse to believe, like Eric just said, the game has changed and Bill can't keep up.
No, I need that to be expanded upon, because if you're saying the game is now NIL, Bill doesn't have a checkbook.
Correct.
If the game, tell me how the game has changed.
So there's that
away from Bill. So if Bill's like too hard on his recruits or anything like that, or he coaches hard, stuff like that. Okay, I mean, I guess if the new generation needs to be told that, needs to be coddled a bit, yeah, he's probably not your guy. But other than that, I mean, he can't write text.
What are we talking about, though? Like, are we talking, like, where are you getting that information from? Is that something you're just guessing? Like, because I want you guys to understand something, okay? And please, I mean no disrespect when I say this. If you've actually coached a day in your life, let me know in the chat. No, I'm being so serious, Travis, because like I just coached a state championship basketball team last year. Okay, it is difficult to coach at a high level, and that's in high school. It's difficult to coach at a high level, and if you've coached, you understand that while yes, the product on the court falls on your feet, there are also moments where the players that you have, them not executing, it unfortunately can come back on you as a coach, even though that may not be, what your track record is or who you are or whatever. Maybe they're just not hearing you. And that's the conversation I feel like this needs to go towards. Is it that his players are not hearing him anymore, and that maybe, like Travis said, is he being too hard on that's what it is, because we're not going to sit here and act like Bill Bedenbaugh does not know how to coach football, does not know how to coach offensive linemen, because that's what happens is people get into these superlatives and these crazy narratives, that he just forgot how to coach. He doesn't have it anymore. This is a guy that literally, like the two-time defending Super Bowl champion head coach, Andy Reid, consistently comments on how well prepared Oklahoma offensive linemen are, why they like them so much. So how does that happen? Yet you think that we have a guy that can't coach. Like, it doesn't make sense. And so it's so confounding. I think it's confusing to all of us, because how do we have comments being made about our offensive line coach like that has put 2 tackles in the league first round the last 2 years? We're not talking about, oh, he hasn't put a first rounder in the league 10 years ago, Travis. He put one in last year and the year before that. So why are we talking about him as if they're like, and again, I get it. It's the shock value is crazy, right? Because the offensive line is atrocious. Like,
it's bad. And I think there are a few reasons how it got here. I think the Pancake Factory at Texas launched at the worst possible time for Oklahoma. DJ Campbell would have been a Sooner. His dad had some medical issues, so he ended up being a Longhorn. That's a 5-star that got away, right? Well, Eric saying, well, you can't keep touting your NFL accolades. The kids don't want to hear it. Well, okay, what do they want to hear? He goes on, they want to hear about NIL. Well, Bill doesn't write the checks, so what is he supposed to talk about? And if the day that you can walk into a player's living room and say, hey, I can put you in the NFL, and they say, I don't care, show me the money, okay, then take him to the money guy. Like, he's done all he can. And guess what? He's got 2 top 10 tackles locked in, committed. Both of them have said, man, I want to go to the league, and he puts dudes in the league. Fasuzi's one of them. And everybody wants to fire Bill. Okay, cool. Be careful what you wish for. Careful what you wish for, because you won't have an offensive line next year. You thought it was bad now. It's going to get real bad, because all those people, they're gone. Fasuzi's gone. Foje's gone. Afalava's gone. Jake Taylor's probably gone. EPL's probably gone. All these people. But that's the thing. He's been largely excellent since 2013. Jake Sexton tore his ACL, so we had to go get a tackle, right? Then Branson Hickman had to get brought in because Troy Everett blew his knee out. So you bring in Branson Hickman. He has 2 high ankle sprains. And then you have Jake Taylor, who's got 2 injuries that will come to light very soon. I wouldn't expect to see him this weekend. You've had 13 or 14 different line combinations. Yeah, part of the reason we had 9 sacks is because they were trying to block 5-stars with tight ends, and they were whiffing. Like, it's just Yeah, Babalola's already gone because we have 2 top 10 tackles committed, and Michigan has 0 tackles committed. Like, this,
we understand
it's wild to in 2025 blame Bill's recruiting. Like, pick a lane. Like, is it NFL draft classes? Cool. Had a first rounder last year. It's what have you done for me lately? Okay, he can't recruit. Okay, he's got his best class that he's ever had coming up, like about to sign now. And then, like, it's not his fault. They were putting Jake Roberts on Dylan Stewart. It's not his fault. Like, there's just, I don't know. In my opinion, and some of you won't like this, I think it is extremely low level thinking to think you need to get rid of BB. Like, I think you lack context. I think you lack perspective. Maybe you just lack what continuity can do for an offensive line, and how you had just had none of it. I got in a discussion earlier today, and they said, we need to be starting EPL this weekend. What? Why would you put a true freshman that got here in the summer, that was running track in the spring? Why would you come put him at guard across from Walter Nolan, who's going to be a top 5 pick, on the road at Ole Miss in his first action of the year? Because he's big, he wears sunglasses. Like, it's those type of comments, like, that just disqualify you from the Bill Bedenbaugh conversations with me. So,
Trav, like, let's address. I want, and I don't want to spend way too much time on Bill Bedenbaugh, because we've spent a lot. I would like to get to pieces of the games. We have some videos to get through, and then talk about offensive coordinators. at this point, like we can give a score prediction for Ole Miss, but it just is what it is. I want to address this sentiment right here because I've been dealing with this on Twitter this entire week of what about the players that Bill didn't recruit? Like why hasn't he developed anybody? Okay, let's take a look. Anybody that was going to be developed like you typically take 2 to 3 years to develop like good offensive linemen because they need to be freaking strong. Okay. Trav, can you remind me what class would have been 3 years ago? What year are we talking about?
So this would have been the 2022 class, the Jake Taylor and the last Lincoln Riley class would have been the Jake Taylor and Jake Sexton class.
Okay, correct. Jake Taylor and Jake Sexton, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think were maybe the only 2 offensive linemen in that whole class, and maybe Josh Bates as well. Those are the last recruits you had. So they've been a part of the Brent Venables system the entire time. Like, and Schmitty, they've been injured almost every. Like, can we remember back to Florida State, the way that they looked against Florida State? Nobody said anything then because they looked freaking great, and then they've been hurt. They were hurt all last year, and they were hurt again in the summer this year. So I don't want to hear why has he developed guys who've been hurt for multiple years. Okay.
Yeah,
and then before that, 2021, Travis, and 2020, those offensive linemen all were gone. And again, each class, there was only like 2 offensive linemen because of whatever reason. And you wouldn't say that was Riley. I mean, a lot of people think it was.
He was cutting down classes. Eric Cloud says, injured has nothing to do with technique. Technique is horrible. Well, if you are injured, you can't practice. If you practice, you have technique. This is coming from a person apparently that thinks Emmett Jones is made of Kevlar. Show me Emmett. Okay, let's get into the development game and the recruiting game. Bill Bedenbaugh has out-recruited Emmett Jones. Bill Bedenbaugh has out-developed Emmett Jones. Bill Bedenbaugh has more first-round picks than Emmett Jones. Emmett Jones has 4 receivers in the league that made it to the league. 3 were undrafted. I think 1 went in the 6th round. His guys can't block. Jacob Jordan finally showed out a little bit. So I just want to keep it. I mean, let's keep it a buck.
Eric, did you play offensive line, or did you coach? I'm being so serious. I want to be so respectful to you, and give you the benefit of the doubt. Please let me know if you did, because if not, I don't want to hear that injury has nothing to do with technique. Yes, it freaking does, especially at the offensive lineman, at the offensive line. Okay, you played center, so you're telling me that if you're not fully healthy, you can't do your technique. You can do your technique the exact way it needs to be done every time. Is that what you're telling me? Because they're hurt right now.
We can. The discussion straight to the chat. They don't show up, so then the people that comment on the YouTube video, they get.
I'm pulling it up.
Eric Cloud played center. I assume 5A was in Texas because that's where it's the highest, or else you wouldn't put it.
It is mental. It absolutely is mental. And the biggest piece of that is your center, which we haven't had a consistent center who's been hurt. They weren't able to mesh at all this summer because everybody was hurt. So it is. But again, then you're going back to, when you say this, Eric, you're going back to saying that Bill Bedenbaugh does not know how to mentally develop his offensive linemen. When we have a quote out there from a Super Bowl, back-to-back Super Bowl winning coach and Andy Reid that would say otherwise.
Here's the thing. If Bill got let go for some reason, which God forbid that happens, he would have a job in the NFL probably tomorrow. Or he might, I don't know, get hired away by an SEC team and then beat us when he's got a little bit of continuity, a little bit more NIL money behind him. Now he's finally got some NIL money behind him, which is nice because he's been outbacked before. But I don't know. Like I said, if y'all think BB is trash all of a sudden because he had, starting left tackle, Jake Sexton, tore his ACL, has to get better. Now, the Spencer Brown eval was whiffed, but I'm pretty sure he was supposed to come with Geno Vandermark, who ended up actually going to Alabama and playing guard. I thought he was supposed to be part of that package deal. Now, Troy Everett was originally brought in to be heir apparent to Andrew Raym after another year in the system. but he was good, and we needed to plug a hole. So he moved over to guard, which is not naturally his position. He was a he was a freshman All-American center at Appalachian State. Remember when they beat A&M? So you had Caden Green, right? Who Bill had looking like a eventual top 50 pick at guard. Well, he just got benched at UMass or against UMass at Mizzou. Like that, and Andrew Rame left early, and Guyton left early because he was a first-round pick. And all these people want to say, oh, tell me what he's done to guys out of high school. Part of the reason people come to Oklahoma transfer because they understand their eligibility clock is up and they need to get developed to go to the league. And that's what Rouse did. That's what Wanya Morris did. That's what Tyler Guyton did. That's what all these guys did. So Kirby saying answer the question, but I'm not scrolling. So what would it take for us to want to switch at O-line coach? Probably a year where we had any continuity whatsoever and we still got whooped all the time. That would be what I would need to see. Or just maybe a dramatic fall off in recruiting or something like that. Like inability to get the guys, and then once you've got them and you've got them consistently there, not be able to do anything with them. Because we've seen Brent, when he's got dudes with time to develop, he's developed them. When he's got time to work with a continuous group. I mean, look at the best offensive lines in the country. They've all played together. Look at Texas's offensive line. They brought back all their starters. We brought back none of the starters. And then some of them that they did, they got hurt. So it's like, I mean, our starting line for the season, 3 of them got hurt. Garen Hatchett tore his bicep. Like, Jake Taylor is going through some injuries right now. He's probably been about 65% all year. Like, again, you've got Troy Everett dealing with a knee, which had to bring in Branson Hickman, 2 sprained ankles. And then you had Sexton coming off an ACL. Like, all these things, like, these all happen to already a line returning 0 continuity. And that continuity was gone because, again, Mizzou lied to Cade's dad, told him, we'll pay you, you can come play tackle here. And he hasn't played tackle all year. He's played guard. Now he got benched. You had Rame at center, leave early. You had Walter Rouse at left tackle, get drafted by Vikings. You had Tyler Guyton at right tackle, first round. And then you had McCade Matar, who ran out of eligibility and had to leave. So you had an entire experienced line. And now this year, he's got none of that. And we have people legitimately saying, we need to start Eddie Pierre-Louis. Start him against Ole Miss. A defensive line that gives up the least amount of rushing yards of any school in the country. 66.6 yards a game. Like 1.89 a carry, something like that.
Yikes.
And do that. And they've got a top 5 pick on the other side in Walter Nolan. Remember him from what? A&M. A&M over to Ole Miss. He was the big defensive lineman of the portal. Big. And people who know football are saying we need to start Eddie Pierre-Louis. Even people who know football have no clue about continuity on the offensive line. What you would do if you put in a true freshman to play his first game at Ole Miss, where communication is going to be difficult anyways, and he's never communicated with these people before. Like, that's the thing. My criticisms of Bill are basically twofold. I think he takes too long to mess with the different combinations of guys into the season. You can't do that anymore in the SEC. It's always worked for him. He's always by like week 5 figured it out, but we need to figure that out by week 1 now. We got Michigan coming next year. My other one is, and I think this is partly not really up to him, but he's very reliant on the portal. And in my opinion, everybody's going to say, well, we need to go buy a bunch of offensive linemen next year. No, because offensive linemen, again, what's the word of the day? Continuity. If you want to be good on the offensive line, you have to have continuity. You have to gel, right? So you need to stick with what you've got. Let Jake Taylor get healthy. He hasn't been healthy all year, not even close. Let him get healthy. Let, maybe, I don't know, Fasusi, Foje, and Howland compete for left tackle. Right tackle is Jake Taylor. Center, who knows? Maybe Troy Everett comes back. He's another year better, another year stronger. And then your guards, then you can start playing with some youth. You want to do Ozida and EPL. You want to do, I don't know, Ozida, and actually Wee-Woo's got more eligibility. So you can keep him plugged in there. Like, I just think the offensive line needs continuity, and going into the portal again won't happen or won't allow that to happen. So figure the line out quick, roll out there with what you got, and then less guys out of the portal. Because you brought 7 guys into the portal because everybody was complaining that we had no talent on the team, no talent on the team.
Yeah.
Go get more and more and more out of the portal, more and more. We got 7 dudes out of the portal. How many more do we need?
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. And I'll just answer that question, Kirby, and then we'll move on. I would need to see Bill have a line this bad next year. Like, if it's something that's 2 years in a row for me, and I understand, like, it's bad enough. It's bad enough that it's making me say, hey, Bill, hey, what's up? Like, it has me there. Don't get me wrong. Like, it has me like, hey, this how does this even happen? That's where I'm at. But he, more than just to me, more than anybody, deserves the benefit of the doubt. Like, he just does. So to me, you give him a year and say, hey, this year clearly was not it. Anybody with 2 eyes can see that. But yes, as Christian just said, if it were to be anywhere, not even this bad, anywhere close to this bad next year, then you say, hey, man, like, this just may not be working out. This just may not be working out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a way that this year I will be a proponent of moving on from Bill Bedenbaugh. I just simply don't. You've got 2 top 10 tackles coming in. Darius Afalava's got everything you want from a guard position.
Yes.
I talked to Bill about Afalava. He absolutely loves him. You've got another year of Taylor, another year of Hatchett, I think, if you want. I think Landon Hatchett might come through. You got another year of Troy, another year for Becci. You got EPL and Eugene Brooks coming up, Daniel Akinkumi coming up. Logan Howland's been developing nicely, just needed to get bigger and stronger. But, like, I don't know. I just think this year, the last 10 years have given me, okay, 1 year, this 1 year, but you got to get it right next year. Like, simple as that. And if he gets it right next year, the next offensive line or the next OC, he's gonna love it. Because here's the thing: most OCs that we're looking at have never had an offensive line coach as good as Bill Bedenbaugh. Their school could not lure him. So now they're going to be able to work with him, or they can bring their buddy with from Tulane or Indiana or whatever. But Ohio, somebody tried to fired DeMarco Murray in the comments early, and Ohio State wanted him pretty bad over the offseason. Ohio State usually know what they're doing right, but he just coaches a bunch of busts. That's all he does. Bill Bedenbaugh needs to be fired. Okay. He'll have a job in the morning. He'll have a job at the end of the night. Or he might retire and say, all right, have fun without me.
They care about what they see on the field.
Him and Kale will be on a boat up at Grand Lake and be laughing, watching TV every Saturday.
They care about what they see on the field. That's where a lot of our fans are at, which, again, I understand.
I agree. I get it.
I understand being that fan, but you have to have some freaking context. Like, if we're for us to talk the way we do, to have this show, we are going to talk about it in context. We're not just going to have these crazy superlatives out here and saying that, well, this is the way it has to be. Like, we got to be reasonable. Look, both of us, I think, would say Jon Finley is next up. Like, we've been objective about that. Like, there's nothing to say. There's nothing to say, right? But, like, it's just, anyways. Okay, let's look at some of these plays, and then we'll talk about the offensive coordinator. So, speaking of, the line. Obviously, let's look at these. Let's
Two
look
defensive ends, and one thing that I just absolutely hate.
So this is the first play of the game, and this is what Travis was talking about earlier. Like the fact that that this will be the game planning, and I know a lot of y'all watch Oklahoma breakdown too, and Gabe talking about like literally last week was saying, don't try to block these guys with a tight end. And what happens? First play of the game, blocking with a tight end. Right? And so here we are. You can look at Javonte and you say, Javonte, why aren't you helping? Like, well, it was a play action. So he's already, a few yards above Michael Hawkins Jr. And so it's a lot for him to step back, especially if that he feels like that guy's going to blitz, which he's not. And so now it looks bad on tape in terms of, hey, why were you even up there? You could have helped on that. But this is where we're at. Boom. And now at this point, he doesn't get sacked. And this is why I think, he ended up getting pulled on top of just the catastrophic turnovers that they were, similar to Jackson Arnold's catastrophic 3 against Tennessee, except they didn't go straight for scores.
Right. I mean, we're down bad if we're talking about comparing back-breaking turnovers, but
man,
Jackson's didn't go for scores, but 2 of them were turnover immediately after,
which is bad enough in its own right. But yeah. Michael Hawkins Jr. tries to make a play, and it's not. I mean, he has the right idea, but it's probably a little late. I know he's discombobulated, and again, his first play of the game, he doesn't get pulled after that, and so that obviously was not it. Here's another the next obviously offensive that happens again. You're blocking this guy at tight end, and Jake Roberts just gets embarrassed.
Right. Why on earth?
I don't know. Right.
Why on earth is Jake Roberts trying to block him?
And then Michael Hawkins Jr. obviously gets sacked, and the ball comes out, and take care of the ball. Obviously, I mean it's a great play by their defensive end, but he's got to take care of the ball, and just a great bounce. And then obviously we know again on the next play, he gets hit, ball gets up in the air, and it's a pick six. So, and then the game was almost effectively over. So, yes, this is Travis. This is a big deal for me. I thought this because I love we both obviously Travis did, and I'm connected through him with a lot of the OU Insider guys. He does his stuff on OU Insider, and I know you guys look at probably have subscriptions to Student School or 247.
Everybody,
I think this stuff like this is going to have people especially with what the offense is this year, it's going to have people.
They're not going to believe anybody next year.
Not trusting any, because we did hear, man, Bauer Sharp, he's got the potential to be an SEC type of tight end. We ain't seen.
I will laugh because the people that were singing Bauer Sharp's praises the loudest, probably Gabe.
Was it Gabe?
And Gabe is the most trusted guy when it comes to OU offensive breakdowns and all this kind of stuff. And he's super connected, obviously. People call him state media, propagandist for the program and everything like that. But, I mean, he'll call people out. I mean, there are a lot of people that treat, Gabe and Teddy as they are. I mean, former All-Americans, NFL players, played here under these coaches, right? Both of their position coaches currently coach at the University of Oklahoma. So it's funny because Gabe in spring ball and everything like that, he's like, dude, Bauer Sharp.
They lost fourth quarter lead.
He was big on him. My problem with Bauer Sharp is this is unfair, and I get it, and I bring it up on radio. I think he's too concerned with looking good in his crop top jersey, got it tightened up like that, looking good, running down the field. I need an ugly, just ready to go hit somebody tight end. Yeah. We've had some ugly tight ends at Oklahoma. That they seem to be successful. There's some ugly tight ends in the league. You seen George Kittle? Dude's a baller. Dude is a baller. So I don't know what it is, but Bauer comes across a little bit like a pretty boy to me. We need ugly dudes. Look at his position coach. Not a traditionally, like, not a lot of modeling done by his position coach over the years.
Yeah.
But he was good. He was nasty, man. He hit somebody.
He was.
And that's what I need. I need tight ends that are willing to go rough it up, get dirty, throw their bodies at people. And we just haven't seen that from Bauer.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't. And yeah, it's crazy, man. And I don't know, what were you, was this just in terms of, I'm trying to figure out what this is in terms of Sooner Mike.
Oh no, I'm saying a lot of people, like, people talk to me at least thinking that they're state media, like they're propagandists for OU coaches and whatnot, and this, that, and the other. Teddy and Gabe just share their opinions for sure, but they had extremely high opinions of Bauer Sharp. So I'm saying when it comes to the hype train of Bauer Sharp, look no further than Gabe in the preseason, because he got to go to practices and he's like, guys, you better look out for Bauer Sharp. He looks good out there.
And I'll say this. I do think a lot of this was probably too in context of like when all of our receivers were healthy. And I think that in my opinion, that changes a lot, at least about Bauer Sharp as a receiver. I don't remember him saying anything about Bauer, the blocking tight end, which is where clearly that's been by far the most underwhelming piece of it. You know, now in the receiving game, obviously it's not like he's been a gangbuster, but you know, was he more potentially open in the summer with our wide receivers healthy? Maybe. But regardless, it is what it is, right? So,
well, maybe he was mic'd up sometimes, and you know, he featured a lot in the media and whatnot. They're calling me state media in the comments. I'm not state media.
Travis is not state media.
I'm not state media. I'm not. I don't have the.
What does that mean?
I can't like go to practices and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like I can't. Like I mean, I don't even go to the OU media availability stuff. Like
Right.
I'm just a guy disguised as a guy. No, I'm not state media. I'm just a guy here having a drink with you guys on a fine Wednesday. That's all I am.
Listen, Teddy and Gabe are way more critical than Travis and I are.
I think that's their point.
and they, you know, I mean that, but they should. I think in ways
they time it up right. They time it up right. They gas us all up in the preseason, and then once the rubber hits the road and things fall off, then they're ultra critical.
Yeah, let's look at some positive things to maybe build on. Obviously, we know Jackson Arnold came back in.
You going back to the Temple game for highlights or what?
We know Jackson Arnold came back in for Michael Hawkins after that, and he started the clip in the middle of it. You know, he wasn't amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but he did some things we haven't seen.
That's the first time that Brendan Thompson's just run by somebody and somebody hit him in stride.
I feel bad for Brendan Thompson because if you watch the tape, he's been running open a lot this year.
Yeah.
And we just even haven't had the time to see.
That's why we're going to beat Ole Miss by 30,
or have missed it.
Now we found out we need to do that.
But yeah, I mean, this is blocked up. You know, okay, he has enough time.
You don't need a ton. Here's the thing.
Perfect. It's still not perfect.
Routes, you don't need a ton of time.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. It's like you need some things for long developing routes, but like that route doesn't take a ton of time. He is running straight, and you put the ball in the air, give him time to run under it. But
yeah, It's a great throw. In stride looks pretty. I mean, probably best looking explosive play of the year. Just best look off of looks, right? Then we have this cat who, I mean, I don't know. This is a larger conversation. I don't know how we have so many guys that are highly rated. And again, we talk about this all the time. Ratings in high school don't necessarily mean anything. But you got these guys that
Look at him.
he
He made that guy look stupid. Oh,
have been
nobody.
out here. Yeah. They've been out here, for weeks now, young. And this is a walk-on that gets his opportunity, man. And he is, I mean, getting separation, boom, shake and bake, go extra. We haven't seen that a lot, Brennan Thompson is a 5-star student Cowboy. But regardless, yeah, I mean, this is what we're talking about, just guys that want to. And that, look, Travis, I'm gonna be real honest. Stuff like this keeps me hopeful for Jackson Arnold. Like if he can figure out to and I know we talked about it, like if he can figure out his preparation and like maybe get somebody that hopefully could push him in the right way. Like this is why he was a 5-star quarterback. Like throws like that. Yeah, that. Exactly. Not everybody makes that type of throw. I'm being so serious. Not everybody makes this type of throw.
PSS. Buying drinks. Why?
I hope yes. Let me just be honest.
Why? Not WHY. The letter Y. I mean, you kind of have to.
Have to.
You talk about optics. It's not good optics, and you're going to have to. And when I say medical staff, or when you say medical staff, I'm not talking about training staff. I'm not talking about Schmitty. But because it's weird that the entire defense seems to not be getting hurt, but the entire offense seems to be getting hurt. But it just seems to be the problem of coming back from injury. That's the issue. It's just not happening nearly as quickly as it seems like it should, or at least the traditional timelines, or whatever. I'm not a doctor, but yeah, I think optics-wise, and even for recruiting, I think there's going to be some parents that are like, if my kid gets hurt, is he going to play football again? Like, seems like you guys got somebody that gets turf toe and they're out their whole college career. Like, what's going on there in Norman? So, anyways, I would say that, I would say there's probably going to be some shakeups.
Yeah. This is probably going to be my favorite segment right here because our boy Grayson is balling this year.
He's playing really well.
Balling. And, obviously in pass rush situations, it's going to be a situation where I think if he can find a niche in the league, but certainly to become a greater, all-around defensive tackle, he's going to have to beef up a little bit and become a run stopper too. But, man, like, you can't teach effort, and that's something that he's shown all year. Yeah, even in the Texas game, running Quinn down, like making those effort plays is the difference. And David Stone obviously too is starting to emerge a little bit. Good club move inside there, doesn't finish it off, but gets enough pressure on him for
forces him out of the pocket. Yeah, it's good to see David Stone get some reps. Yeah, man. If you can get, let's see, R. Mason's got another year. So if you can get R. Mason and, Grayson and Jaden Jackson, David Stone, PJ, Koye, all these boys, it could be.
He hasn't touched the field. Danny Koye hasn't touched the field. Nigel Smith hasn't touched the field.
I wonder if Dominic Williams is having the season he had hoped in order to go to the league, or if Dominic Williams wants to come back. Because if Dominic Williams wants to come back and you got all these dudes a year older, gosh, that could be real nice.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's to the point, guys, where like obviously, depending on the type of team you play, like if we're playing a team that wants to run a lot, like up the middle, not on the edges, like you're going to see more Dejon Terry. You're going to see some Dominic Williams. If you see a team that likes to pass, and you'll see Jaden Jackson really either way because he's just that good. But if you see a team that like to pass, you're going to see Grayson Halton a lot as well.
Yeah, this might be a situation instead of going and blowing money on 7 offensive linemen in the portal, you just make sure Dominic Williams stays home. Nah, I mean, and RSJ. Maybe RSJ doesn't want to go to the league quite yet, even though he's like 9th in the SEC in tackles and he's grading out insanely right now. He's got the size and speed that's going to.
I don't want to get 7 offensive linemen, but I think we could go for a few.
I would say max 2, max.
Because they got to be top shelf though.
But the problem with top shelf guys is like, bro, Lance Hurd was supposed to be top shelf. That dude, somebody said he's Spencer Brown with swag, which I thought was hilarious. But like the problem with a lot of portal OL is they get big bags, they get paid immediately, so it screws with chemistry in a unit that needs chemistry, and then they're not in. They have no continuity because they just got there and they're expected to plug and play. And it's not like a wide receiver. It's harder to plug and play on an offensive line. So, yeah, your Walter Rouses, that worked, man. Wanya had issues, worked him out. Like Guyton, he's first-round pick. He's going to figure it out. So, I mean, like Steven said, how much money did Mizzou pay Caden Green? And he got benched against you,
bro.
Like, so – I don't know. I think offensive linemen, their price is increasing, but I think their value is decreasing. So I think you stay out of the portal for the most part, unless like Landon Hatchett or somebody wants to come. Like, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Garen's little brother. Like, if he wants to come, sure. You got to have dudes calling you saying, hey, man, I want to come. Like, because if you start to get into these random bidding wars with dudes and you're paying $1 million for a dude to come in, it's just not going to work. Give me Jake Taylor at right tackle and give me Foje, Fasusi, or Logan Howland at left tackle, and let's ride.
And before we get to this OC talk, Trav, and score prediction and get out of here, I want to mention one more thing. What we were just talking about, right, with keeping Dominic Williams home and just the defensive line and what it could be next year, that is the main reason I've been going off on some people about like not like having BV gone now. Like I'm gonna be so honest. If we have another year like this year, next year, I'm not saying gone, but like his seat is scorching to me. Obviously, at this point, you have to say, okay, like you like to flame a little bit just because of what we've seen, but you have so much context that says, okay, hey, here's what we need to have happen. The defensive side is fixed. They have depth. They have so much to look forward to. I think it's crazy to say, let BV go and start over when we already are seeing issues on the offensive side of the ball. And then you just want to blow up the defense. I mean, when I'm saying that would blow up the defensive side of the ball, it would blow it up.
Yeah. You'd have to start over. I mean, no.
What did Joe Klatt say, Topher? Because I don't know what he said.
I stopped listening to Joel Klatt when he became very clearly invested in USC propaganda. I used to like Klatt a lot. But, I mean, USC's what, 3-4 right now?
Yes.
They're 3-4. And he said, they're Texas from 2 years ago. They're going to be competing for a national title. Texas is the number 1 team in the country, or number 5 team in the country now. But regardless, it's like, oh, man, all they got to do is stick with Lincoln. Bro, Lincoln just lost at Maryland. He's lost at Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota, too.
Like, go Gophers. But like it's bad. It's bad. He's lost 9 of his last 14. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like the Joel Klatt USC, and I know maybe his Uncle Colin Coward is in his ear going, hey, man, it's the LA media. We really want this to succeed. We'll make more money. Like, I don't know what's going on, or if it's just the Fox contract saying, hey, you need the Big Ten to be well represented in the playoff and this, that, and the other. Like, he was paying USC as a playoff team a week ago. Like, what are we doing?
Is that what he said, Kirby? Was that Rutgers might beat USC? Is that what you're talking about?
Clad didn't say that. Clad would never say that.
So, Topher, I know you listen, man. Put in the chat what he said so we can respond to it. But Trav,
he said it's going to look. It's going to get worse before it gets better.
Oh, you talking about OU?
Yeah.
It get worse in what way?
Like it's a just try hard on offense. That's all you can do because you've got to go.
Oh,
you got Bama at home. You got to go to LSU. You've got. It is funny he didn't mention Missouri on the schedule, but he was like, you got at number 18. He mentioned those 3 games. I'm like, yeah, Clap. We know our schedule.
That's not wrong. I mean, yeah, we know it's going to get worse before it. I mean, it's bad now. So like,
I honestly don't think it will get worse than like 35-9. Was it 35-9, 36-9?
35.
It will not get worse than 35-9 to South Carolina. I'm sorry. I like Shane Beamer a lot. Like I like their defensive line a lot. I like their running back a lot. But it's not going to get worse than 35-9 to South Carolina, unless Maine beats us. That's the Kirby and I said it at the same time.
Yeah,
that's the only way.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's talk a little bit about offensive coordinators. Just let's keep it to one name because we got time. We're not even going to do this or that this week. We don't deserve to be honest. But but anyways, no, for real, we're close. We're close. We don't want to go. It's already late. We're late. Again, sorry about that. But let's give one offensive coordinator name you want us to go for, and then we'll give a score prediction for Ole Miss, and then we out of here. So one offensive coordinator that you want OU to go for.
I'm going to stick with Shanahan for me. I think Mike Shanahan from Indiana.
No relation?
Would be a heck of a move. He's young. He's got a dynamic offense. He's a big enough splash where recruits will be like, oh, man, Indiana's doing a bunch of stuff on offense. They just put up 56 on Nebraska. Like, let's go do that. I want to go play in that offense. Like,
yeah, Indiana's legit.
Like,
you have no idea how many friends I'm talking to. I'm like, I never thought Indiana would be better than Oklahoma. I'm like, shut up.
Oh, I bet, yeah. So Shanahan is my pick. Willie Stein for sure would be nice from Oregon, but I think that Mike Shanahan is doing it with less right now, and I think he would really enjoy. I think he would attract new recruits very well. And it almost feels like an Emmett Jones type situation where it's like Emmett Jones recruiting with the OU logo. He has got all of his best recruits in the last 2 years. I think Mike Shanahan recruiting with his guys to the OU logo could really get a lot of talent.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would probably be, man, my first choice too. Travis is Shanahan. I think that's going to be the hardest. That might also be the hardest one to pull because he's been with Signetti since Elon when they were at Elon, not Musk,
not Musk,
but Elon University and all the way to JMU and now to Indiana, and so. Yes, Shanahan calls plays.
Yes, Shanahan is the play caller.
Coley, Ben Arbuckle. Who's that?
I'm not sure what the Coley like what everybody's obsession with him. I know DMAC likes him a lot, but I'm not a big Coley guy. And then somebody talked about how he got demoted. I was looking him up. I don't know. I think part of that is people thinking that he's going to take a bunch of Georgia players with him to Oklahoma, and I just don't think that's the case. And I think part of the reason he does well is because he's got a talent mismatch in every game he plays outside of maybe 2 a year where the talent is equal.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. And I think DMAC's even cooled off of Coley a little bit.
He had to get his one last shot in there.
He had to. He'll sleep better tonight after all that. He just needed to get it off his chest.
He did. All right, let's get a score prediction in for this weekend. Ole Miss versus Oklahoma at the Grove. Travis heading there. He'll be there. You have to let me know. Hey, real quick, what was your meal for last week? I don't even know what your meal for last week was. I didn't see it.
Who we played last week?
South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina.
Forget about it.
God, what did I cook last week? Somebody watched it.
We don't even want to talk about it because it was so bad.
God, that's gonna bug me. South Carolina. What did I make last week?
Somebody go look it up for Trav. What did he make? What did you make? What did you make for tonight? What was tonight's video?
Catfish.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I made pimento. No, was that pimento cheeseburgers? Yeah, I made pimento cheeseburgers because South Carolina is the home of the pimento cheese. And then this week's fried catfish.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to look at the fried catfish. I can make me some fried catfish this weekend.
Oh, it was awesome. And then I cut up fried catfish, put it on a bun with hot sauce, pimento cheese, and house pickled jalapenos.
What's your score prediction, man, for this weekend? I'm calling another college football game towards the end of the game. Broadcast.
We're making JP and Trav history. Ole Miss 31, Oklahoma 17.
Whoa!
I know. First time I've ever picked against us. I did the same in my OU Insider article.
It's hard to pick for us as an 18.5 point.
31-17, Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
How's that for state media?
I'm gonna go 34-17 Ole Miss. It's just at this point, like, hopefully the offense shows up a little bit. I trust the defense to show up, but again, if the offense gives away points like it did last week, obviously Ole Miss offense is much more high-powered. Their defense is better. I mean, they're just a better team than South Carolina, and we're going there. So,
yeah,
we're just being realistic. It is what it is. If OU shocks the world and shocks us and wins, hey, and the offense scores more than 20 points, hey, that's progress at this point.
I can't wait to see it. I'm excited to go down. I'm actually leaving tomorrow, so
yes.
I've still got to pack.
Are you? You have to let us know and let me know personally. How the food is, how everything is down there, man.
Oh, I will for sure. But I better hit the hay. I know Kirby's worn out for sure. His fingers are at least. And time to go finish packing for me.
Yeah, go finish packing. Hopefully, or not hopefully, but we will see you guys here next Wednesday. And next Wednesday we'll be at our typical 8 p.m. time. I won't have anything going on next week. So we'll see you guys back here at that time, Central Time. And, stay safe this weekend. Make sure you have some alcohol with you. Boomer.